Hello class, my name is Aaron Medina. Today's speech is talking about my favorite movie, and this will be for my communication class. And I will be speaking about the movie of the 2007 Transformers, the first very one. I have my guests right here, my audience, Eric, and Joe, and then my friend in the background. And to start off, read out my note cards. Have you ever thought about giant robots hiding on the earth, disguised as cars, trucks, jets, and machines? Today I'll tell you why Transformers is worth watching. They are robots in disguise. The movie has very intense battles and super action-packed, which I very like because it goes straight to the action, in my opinion. That's why I like my movies. And how the story keeps you hooked, and also keeps you hooked for the upcoming movies that are also in the series. Today's bigger message for the movie is about how it's has a lot of teamwork in it and a lot of bravery, and it's important to stick by your friends. And I got this quote from the box office called Mojo, and around 2007. So I would talk about the action and effects. Secondly, I will talk about the characters, the main ones, and how each character has traits. And finally, I will talk about the story. To start off, the action and effects. And the action and effects, especially the CGI, makes the robots feel real. During the time, 2007, there wasn't much movies that could compete how good the CGI was at the time, especially with Michael Bay, and how they were able to actually take their movies, scenery, and setting inside big cities. And this movie had really huge fight scenes and a realistic Transformers, because you can actually see when they're transforming and how serious you can see the little metal pieces of the parts and then the head going through and then changing into cars. So it's very detailed in my opinion. That's why I really like it. And so one example would be Bumblebee versus Barricade in the opening scene. This is when Bumblebee comes to save Sam and his girlfriend from Barricade, because Barricade was trying to find Sam about explaining why the glasses were taken from Megatron, because this had a certain code that they were trying to give to find the Allspark. Another one would be Grinder destroying the military base. This would be the opening scene, and where the Decepticons tried to show off and find the Allspark so they could show off their superpower. And another one would be when Bumblebee uses his tow truck to defeat his enemies. Sam's girlfriend ends up using the tow truck to carry Bumblebee on the back of it because he lost his legs, and him shooting the weapons and destroying the enemies was really cool to see and showed that he wasn't giving up and showed bravery. And a positive critic would be that it's big, loud, and full of spectacular chases and animated transformation sequences. From my response from it, I agreed that it was, and the action and the CGI was very, very exciting. And card 3 will be my third one. We about characters. Next, characters make the story interesting. That's how it is in all other movies. Sam Witwicky, which would be the main character or the main human in this story, is very relatable, and how he tries to do his best and try to be enough for the Transformers, even though they're robots, while being a human with skin and all that. And another one would be Optimus Prime, which would be the main leader, the brave leader, of the Autobots to try and defeat the Decepticons from causing more damage, especially from Cybertron to Earth. And Bumblebee, it would be a lot about adding personality and how good his humor is, and he acts more like a teenager. And then some examples would be the military robots fighting Decepticons, Jazz Bumblebee and Ratchet fighting all of them fighting to this Decepticon named Braw, which was a tank, and them using all their force to try to defeat him. And one battle would be the Optimus Prime versus Megatron, which would be the very last battle. Then Megatron dies from Sam putting the Allspark in him, which was enough to kill him at that time. And a negative critic would be that the human storylines is very not realistic. Well, of course, it wouldn't be. but I thought it was at the time because I was a little kid. And human parts, my response to that, where the human parts balance the action, and because it makes it more realistic for it, and that's why I was able to believe that it could happen. I used to look up the videos of the Transformers transforming, and obviously they're fake, but I didn't know that. And then to wrap it up, my main points will be reviewed about the action and effects, which I thought were really amazing. The characters revolving around Sam, Octopus, and Bumblebee, which were very fun and relatable and very cool to see. And the story would be Autobots and the Decepticons, the courage and the teamwork. And my response to the critics would be that the long fights or the predictable parts don't ruin the fun. And in conclusion, my lasting thought will be that if you want giant robots, epic battles, and cool characters, Transformers is worth watching, and I would recommend you to continue watching all the rest of the series. And I hope after hearing this, you will watch Transformers and see how robots in the skies can turn an ordinary day into the epic adventure in your mind. And that would conclude my video. Thank you.